are Transit. My name's PJ.
I'm Joe B.
My name's Torre.
I think it's cool. I think it's good to have shows like that, just like really diverse and just all over the place. I think you can't really lump it into one category, and you know, you might end up leaving the show liking a completely different genre that you never would have really thought you would enjoy in the first place. So I think it's cool.
Definitely.
Yeah, and it brings out a different group of kids, or different groups of kids to the shows, so I think it works.
I'm dying to see Moose Blood personally. That's like my number one pick that I want to see at Slam Dunk.
Taking Back Sunday.
But we clash with them every day, so
I was going to leave that out.
we will not be seeing them.
I'm excited to see Lower Than Atlantis.
Yeah, nice.
Wow, it's a tough one.
It's a good one.
Well, as far as over here goes, a couple years ago we played the Underworld in Camden, in London. That was like one of my favorite sets we've ever played, so every show could be like that one. I'm pretty content with that.
I would say London, Sydney, Australia,
Yeah.
California, or Boston, my top four.
Southern California, especially.
Chain Reaction we did in Anaheim.
Chain Reaction,
that was
yeah,
crazy.
is awesome. That place is great. I don't know. There's so many. It's such a blur. Like there's so many places we have fun. We always have a good time if it's a big show or not. And I don't know. I definitely have to say for me the most memorable set ever wasn't a venue. It was playing Warped Tour in Massachusetts. The first time we did that, it was just. It was unreal. It didn't even seem real. Like, and then there was a lot of back in the day. There was a lot of house shows and basement shows and barn. We played in a barn. We played next to boats and barns. We played outside. We played just about everywhere you can set up a stage or put equipment. We played it, and some of those are they're gonna live with me forever. Metal Frat and Michigan, unbelievable. So much fun, just a party, just chaos. Just those are some of the best.
I would say my favorite one to play is either The Only One, which is the first song off the new record, or we've been playing Over Your Head, which is off Listen and Forgive, and we haven't played that live much, and I think it goes over really well, and I think it's all one of our personal favorites.
Yeah, Over Your Head's one of my favorite songs
So I would
I've
say
ever written. I'm really psyched we get to play it now.
My favorite song to play live over here is Follow Me, because it was originally written over here, and I wasn't sure, if we'd ever play it over here or what the case would be with the song or how much we put it in our rotation as our live sets and stuff. So that for me, that song lives here, and I feel it come to life when we play it. So that's my favorite, is Follow Me. We all vote, we play it, and if we all do love a song and we play it and it just doesn't seem as up to par with the rest of them at that time, then we will take it off the list. And we like to practice. Every song we play live, we like to practice over and over and over. We don't like to just throw them in there and wing it. I know a lot of bands can do that based on requests and stuff, but we just want to feel really satisfied. If it's
Prepared.
we just want to feel prepared and feel confident in whatever we put out there for our art and our music is it's got to be at a certain level, or it's just kind of us doing it injustice to ourselves. It's more a personal thing. It's not anything else.
Yeah, we try to build a set that flows really well, and
Like a mixtape.
yeah, so.
I would say I would love.
It's hard.
I would
There's so many bands.
kill to see Rage Against the Machine or Sublime.
Yeah.
Nirvana.
Nirvana, definitely.
I actually thought about this the other day.
There's a lot of local
but
bands.
I can't.
I wanted to see local bands that I grew up on that introduced me to this scene in general. There's a local band called Our New Year. They named a song after a long time ago, and then there's this band Moment that pretty much inspired me to want to write lyrics in the first place. Then there's a bunch of hardcore bands like the Suicide File and Hope Conspiracy and American Nightmare, Give Up the Ghost, and they're playing shows again, which is cool. We got to see them at Grows Rock, which is the first time I got to see them, or any of us got to see them, because they broke up before, we got to check them out. But yeah, it's mostly local bands, because that's where a lot of the magic was. Algernon Cadwallader is one band that I would kill to see.
Yeah.
And they broke up a few years ago, and I thought they were one of the best American underground bands to come out since. No, probably that's my all-time favorite American underground band. So. We make it different because the magic is in that feeling that you're a brand new band, the glory days that people love to talk about, and the nostalgia. It's why do you have to look back at that? Why can't you just make the project that you're working on be that every time? Why can't it be new every time? So every time we put out a new record, it feels like another lifetime has passed. You know what I mean? We'll still play those songs, but we feel like if we keep this being exactly how we feel and we're as honest as humanly possible, we're going to make enemies along the way. People are going to be upset it doesn't sound like a sequel to any other record, but, we're going to stay on the road because the magic is still there that most bands lose in the first few years, and we never lose it.
We also just don't want to write the same song over and over again, so we try to just stay fresh and new and keep things exciting and keep kids interested. But,
depends. If it's you're trying to be, it's a dirty lifestyle. It's grimy. So you have to be, you have to bring the right amount of toiletries and stuff like that. That's obvious.
I love bringing my pillow with me everywhere I go.
Yeah, sleeping bags.
Sleeping.
I bring either my iPad or my computer.
Same.
I'll bring books, but I won't read them.
I brought a book. I read a chapter, and that's it.
Yeah, I do a lot of podcasts and audiobooks, and I'll get a lot of movies for the road for the really long drives. Torre brings his dice every time.
Oh yeah, dice. We gamble a lot.
Loves to gamble, so he brings his dice.
I think that's the one item I do bring on every tour, no matter what.
Yep. Daniel brings his same pair of show pants that are falling apart. A big hole in the bottom, if you notice when we play. But yeah, just the little things, little pieces of home, I guess.
I actually just did an interview yesterday, and one of the questions tell me a story from tour. And I just said this one time at band camp, ... and that was it.
Yeah, so
I didn't know, there's so many, it's really hard to choose.
We've ended up at we were in Salt Lake City, and after the show we were with, I believe we were with Bayside, and we ended up at a goth dance night at a bar, and there was 3 people there.
Salt Lake City? I have no idea.
Yeah, it was 3 people in the bar that weren't with our group, and it was just strobe lights and smoke machines, and the 3 people that were dancing there were definitely on drugs, and it was just really, really scary. And you're just sitting there wow, this is my life right now. This is where I am. Holy shit. Little moments like that happen a lot. We've walked into bars in, I believe it was North Dakota. We were on, going through the state, and we go to this bar, and as we walk in, every single person's head turns around and looks at us, because we think that every person there knew each other, because it's a small community. So they were literally who the fuck are these guys? And those little moments are, those are scary. Those are intimidating. I don't know.
Just wandering, do a lot of wandering around, just letting ourselves stumble into whatever the fine city that we're in has to offer.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, Coochie's on the Water might be the number one story ever.
It's a good one.
It's up there.
Cinco de Mayo.
Cinco de Mayo, 2014, right? Yeah.
It's not really the specific events for us. I think it's the people that we meet. You know what I mean? I think we meet some real characters.
And you wouldn't meet them if you weren't on tour?
Would never meet them. Would never knew they existed. And that happens. It happens almost every other day where you'll be at a bar and you'll just run into this guy and he's got 3 teeth, and then you'll run into this lady and she's screaming on top of stools and dancing, probably singing the Macarena or something. It's just so random, and I just think people are so random that when you go on the road, it really shows.
Our merch guy right now here in the UK, Soggy, he's a character.
He's a character.
One of a kind.
Never met anyone like him. We would have never met him if if we weren't touring. So it's great.
The gaining of life experiences, like learning more about, and like I think traveling's more important than reading. I think that when you travel around the world, you really get, or just even if it's like a handful of countries or it's the whole thing, like your whole perspective like just expands so much that you have a way to describe the planet you live on. You can't just say everywhere, like where I'm from, my hometown, there's a lot of townies, there's a lot of people that just stay in that area. Sometimes they'll go to Florida and that's it, and that's like their whole life. And I just assumed when I lived there, I didn't actually travel away from Massachusetts until I was probably like 21, probably with this band. Maybe a few trips before this band, but that was it. So I never really saw outside of New England for like most of my life. And I didn't think, it wasn't that I thought everywhere else was the same or that everywhere else didn't exist. I knew it existed, but I just didn't think about it. You know what I mean? It's just a passing thought. And I think that when you travel and you tour, you think about these places and you imagine that when you're at home, these places are still going on, and what the people are like, what the food's like, the sounds, the atmosphere, the cars, everything. You can think about it going on and imagine it, and you're probably somewhat accurate. And I think there's just something cool about that.
I think you learn a lot about yourself, about the world, about life, and like about each other. We probably learn something new about each other every day. It's like no idea.
We weren't expecting that at all.
Personally, I was at my house, and all of a sudden, I had like my family there and a few friends, and all of a sudden we just heard long lost friends, and like, jumping up and down, like, what, you guys hear that? Like, it was just crazy.
Yeah, and it was so random.
Prior to that, though, the NFL played 2 other songs. Probably so they played 3 transit songs total in the past, like in a 4-week span or 5-week span. So we were all kind of like, oh, imagine if they played our song during the Super Bowl, and then
they did.
Sure enough, they did. It was really cool.
Yeah, it's just a cool thing to talk
Definitely
about.
like a cool, that's something you can tell your kids forever,
Yeah, it's like just like a little
cool accomplishment.
Yeah.
Greatest thing a fan has ever done?
I know it. Lost their pants during one of our sets and then took their shoe off and filled it with a beer and drank it in front of me.
True. Australia.
In Sydney, Australia. It's called a shoey, and we respect the shit out of it.
And Joe B did that.
And I did it in the music video because I thought it was so... Well, we were drinking like that. During that video, we drank a lot, and people were like, "Oh yeah, they probably weren't even drunk." No, we were fucking shit faced. For some of it, not all of it, but for the second half of recording it. And during the time where I drank a beer out of my own shoe, I thought it was a good idea because we went to Australia recently, and I was just like, yeah, this is like an ode to everyone in Sydney who fucking made that night so awesome. I'm just gonna do it too. And it was not fun. It was miserable.
You still wear those shoes, don't you?
Oh, they them shoes.
I would say
I'd make an
originality is what I would say.
I'd say always going,
One
always
word.
moving. Oh, one word.
Originality is what I would say.
Yeah.
I like it.
Young New England.